What is it, guys? I'm Brad Mew, your coach of the Grassy Plains Raikous. This is our week, I think this is week 3, I think 3 of the, or not 3, 3 or 4, I'm actually losing track to be honest, but of the OBA. We are going against the Roaring Shadows, Aaron Sham. I do apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but YouTube link will be in the description. Go check him out. He's a pretty good battler. Before this video does start though, please drop a like below, and if you're new, subscribe. Would recommend you stay around to the end of the video. So far we are actually 1-2, guys. Hoping this battle, I was really prepared. I did a lot of mock battles. I got some advice from friends from Facebook. Shout out to Joey Fontaine too. He actually gave me some suggestions with this team too. Did some mock battles. I did a lot of testing against a lot of different teams and stuff too. So that, and I did a lot of scouting. So I was actually assuming he was going to bring his Haxorus. His Haxorus completely cleaned my team up, being that it could be Mold Breaker, and probably Focus Sash Mold Breaker, and he could set up on me. But he actually brings the Dragon Knight instead. I knew his team actually, his draft had a lot of ice weaknesses, and I really want to take advantage of that. It also did have a couple fire weaknesses too, so I want to take advantage of that. This week we're bringing a new set for Etrez. Rapid Spin Volt Switch, because I knew I needed a priority. I needed double priority in this team. So I'm actually bringing 4 Etrez with Volt Switch now. So and Stealth Rock and Spikes, which do come in really key during the ending moments of this match. Mega Charizard X, bring the same set as I think like week 1 or 2. Crunch, Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, and Dragon Claw. Max attack, max speed. I'm running a defensive 4 Etrez too. Bring the same Garchomp from week 1. Sub, Citrus Berry, Garchomp with Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Swords Dance, and Substitute. Max attack, max speed. And I'm also bringing a Versatility Mew. I needed a lot of versatility for this team because I did not know what he's going to bring for sure. I needed someone with ice, or like an ice move. And also his Choice Scarf Mew, Timid Nature, which actually I think really comes in key during this match too. If it was not timid, I would outspeed in one of these parts of the match with his Torterra. Running the Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Volt Switch, because I need that switch initiative, and the Psychic. Bringing a different Suicune 2, kind of a different EV spread. It's invested in defense, a little bit in special attack, and a lot of HP. So with the Snarl, which I knew was going to bring the Milotic. Was not quite sure if he's going to bring competitive Milotic, which I completely forgot about. It had competitive towards the end. That and the Trojan so I probably brought Snarl, Ice Beam, Scald, and Tailwind on that, and I brought the defensive special defensive Chanty with the Eviolite. The Suicune actually have leftovers too, so the Eviolite, Thunder Wave, Aromatherapy, Seismic Toss, and Stop Boiled. So let's hop into this. Some big threats on his team. He does have some things that can set up. The Dragonite. I knew he was either going to lead with the Aggron to set up with Stealth Rocks, so that's what I actually predicted here. I'm going to lead with my 4 Etrez. Big mistake on my part. He's going to set up with the Dragonite. He knows how vulnerable I am to being set up on. He's going to set up a Dragon Dance right off the bat. I really had to react to this. I did not want him setting up and sweeping my team, because Dragonite has a really good chance of sweeping my team once he's at +2. Once he's at +2, he outspeeds my Choice Scarf Mew, which really sucks. So I need to break his Focus Sash, or not his Focus Sash, his Multi-Scale. I'm going to go with the Volt Switch. Go to my Aurora here. I know I'm defensive. I am invested in defense, so I know at least +1 Dragon Claw will not take me out. I'm able to retaliate with the Ice Beam here. He's going to go for the Dragon Claw. I don't know if he would have switched out there. He would have been saved that and would have been key in the match later. But since the multi-scale is broken, a Ice Beam, I am invested in special attack on this Suicune 2. The last couple matches I did not invest in special attack too, which might have cost me, so that's why I wanted to invest in special attack on this one here too. And also make it kind of a bulky set too, because Suicune is known for taking hits. I needed it for taking hits too. So he's going to go to Togekiss here. I really did not want to get Thunder Waved, so that's why the reason here I'm actually going to switch out into my Chansey here. I was predicting the Thunder Wave or Air Slash at that point right there, so very good switch in here. This thing cannot absolutely touch me whatsoever. He's going to switch out right here. I'm just going to go for a Thunder Wave. I wanted to think Paralyzed, or not Thunder Wave, the Seismic Toss, because I wanted to get some damage on his team. I thought he was actually probably going to go Torterra there, just so he can set up his own Stealth Rock. Either that or the Aggron, so at least a little bit of damage on this Aggron here. It's Mega Aggron, that's what I actually drafted, so I'm actually going to predict him to go for the Thunder Wave, or not the Thunder Wave, the Stealth Rocks right here. So I'm going to go with my Guard Chomp right here. I'm going to try setting up a substitute on this thing. Predicting him to actually go for the Stealth Rock here. He actually carries a Power Up Punch. If I was not rough skin for this thing, because it does not have a rough skin on this Guard Chomp. I don't know why, but if it was rough skin, it would at least got a little bit of damage off right there, but it was not. It doesn't really matter too much though. He actually carries a Heavy Slam too, which actually obliterates me. I thought he was not going to be able to touch me very much with this Aggron, but turns out he's actually going to be able to break my sub. I cannot stay in it during the thing. My Guard Chomp is too needed for this match still, being that the Darmanitan is still around and the Dragonite is gone now. So at least I can kind of play around with the Guard Chomp too without having a big threat on the team. Gonna go to my Fortress here. I knew he was gonna go for the Heavy Slam or the Power Up Punch again. My Fortress can take anything this wants to throw at me, so he can switch out all he wants here. He can't really touch me whatsoever. He's gonna go into Darmanitan to get type advantage. I'm 4 times weak to fire. I'm just gonna set my Stealth Rocks here. He has no Rapid Spinners or Defoggers. The only Defogger he could have was the Dragonite, which I think Dragonite does get Defog, but since Dragonite is gone now, and I'm assuming it was more of a setup Dragonite too, maybe with weakness policy or something like that, or Lum. Judging by going for Dragonite on turn 1, I'm assuming it did not have Defog. So, no Rapid Spinners or Defoggers left on the team. The Stealth Rocks are up and there to stay, so that's really going to help me in the rest of this match. I needed something to go out here. Could not go into Chansey because I would get one-shotted by this thing. I was assuming this thing was either Choice Band or Choice Scarf, otherwise it would not be very viable for his team. So I'm just going to go into my Suicune here, eat that up, that Flare Blitz right there. By the way, he switched out right there. He's telling me he's either Choice Scarfed or Choice Banded. I did calculate if he was Banded, it would have did a little bit more, so he is Choice Scarfed, I find out right here. He's going to go to Milotic. This is actually a defensive Milotic. At this time, I actually was thinking the thing was Marvel Scale. The reason he brought it in on the Scald, just for the burn. So that's what I was really thinking at this point. He was actually Marvel Scale Milotic, not competitive Milotic. So, just going on that thought basis right there, I'm going to go out into my Chansey here, because Milotic cannot touch Chansey whatsoever. He actually shows me as a Dragon Tailing Milotic too, so which that kind of sucks. Dragon Tail does a lot to this team too, it really dwindles it down, but luckily he doesn't have any Stealth Rocks or anything up like that yet, so he's just going to Dragon Tail me out into random things here. Not really too big of a deal. Cannot let my Garchomp stay in because I knew these things would really carry Ice Beam, so I'm going to switch out in my Chansey again. Chansey's basically the best switch in right here anyways, no matter what, Chansey's the best switch in. He takes a lot of damage to it. Dragon Tail is doesn't do too much to. He actually gets the freeze right here, which I was really mad at, but doesn't really matter too much because I am a natural cure, so then again, it doesn't really matter too much on my side. I was hoping he actually would Dragon Tail me out here, which he actually does, which is very nice. Did not have to switch there and get that natural cure on my own. He does it for me. He actually gets a crit there, which kind of sucks, but doesn't really matter too much. Can always get the soft foiled off and reheal my Chansey up. He's going to actually Dragon Tail me out into my Charizard here. I'm just going to stay in Mega Evolve because I knew I actually do gain some defense right here once I do Mega Evolve. I wanted to get those Mega Evolve stats up too, just so I can outspeed the egg, or do some decent damage to the Aggron if I needed to. Gonna go for Dragon Claw. Judging by that damage, it actually was. I'm assuming it was defensive Milotic, because I'm actually Jolly, but I'm max attack, max speed, and it would did a little bit more if he was not defensive. So if he was special defensive, it would did a little bit more. But so I'm assuming he's defensive Milotic. He's gonna Dragon Tail me on my Garchomp again. I do not want this thing in. Gonna bait the Ice Beam here. Do apologize. Oh shit, I can't talk. Do apologize for that. Gonna go into my Chansey right here. He's gonna go for Recover. It doesn't really matter too much. I don't know. He was maybe predicting an Earthquake or something like that. I don't know how much Earthquake would do from an Adamant Garchomp. Not really quite sure, but assuming he was defensive, it would not take it out anyway. So I didn't really want to bother trying and get hit with the Ice Beam. I needed that Garchomp around for the Darmanitan and the Aggron still. Since the Aggron does have the filter, it will be harder to take out. So I needed some stab Earthquake on the team. So I need to keep that thing around. I'm going to go to get Dragon Tails out into my Charizard here. He's going to go to Aggron, predicting a Dragon Claw. Kind of a good play on his part since it is resisted, but if it would have went for the Flare Blitz, it still would have did a decent amount of damage for it being neutral. So Dragon Claw actually still does a decent amount of damage for it being that bulky and shit. So I'm going to switch out here, predicting either an Earthquake or the Heavy Slam, going to my Fortress right here. This match, I had my head in this match completely 100% tonight. Nobody was around. I'm home alone. I really like that because everybody's sleeping and stuff, so I can completely get my head into this match. I was concentrating on this 100%, unlike the last match. So he's going to go to Togekiss here. I actually predicted him to actually switch out either into Darmanitan or the Milotic here. So I'm going to actually full switch out. Get my switch initiative priority, what this team really does need to succeed. Gonna go into Chansey here. At this point, he's actually gonna just go for the Air Slash. Try Air Slash, flinch him. It does get a flinch on the first Air Slash. He does. I don't really care too much because as long as he misses one or does not get a flinch, I should be fine. Just heal up once. I should be able to take a shitload more. So now we're back home with us at full HP due to that soft boiled. He has nothing to really touch me with. He's gonna switch out here, predicting a Thunder Wave. I'm just gonna go for the Thunder Wave no matter what. He can bring the Torterra in. Predicting the Thunder Wave. It doesn't really matter too much though. It does not really get him too much of an advantage on his side, even bringing that thing in, because I do have my Forretras around, which completely counters the Torterra anyways. So I wasn't really too worried about it. So gonna go for a Thunder Wave on this Aggron, which isn't really too bad. I can always get some Para Hacks and stuff like that. Luckily he was not running Gyro Ball Aggron, otherwise that actually would have really destroyed my team. But did not really think of it at the time too when I went Thunder Waving. If he had Gyro Ball Aggron, but judging by the moves I saw so far, he had Heavy Slam, EQ, I think he had, and then the Power Up Punch. So just gonna stay in here. I know this thing cannot touch me whatsoever. He can go for as much Earthquakes and Power Up Punches and Heavy Slams as he wants. Don't know what his fourth move is. I'm assuming maybe Stealth Rocks or something like that. Curse maybe. I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna set up my second layer of spikes right here. I needed those spikes up for the Darmanitan. That thing is a real big threat to this thing. Once that Darmanitan is gone, my Forest is basically in the free reign right now. So he's going to switch out here. He does not have anything to touch me with. He cannot absolutely touch me whatsoever. He's going to go to Torterra right here. Not really too big of a play. Doesn't give him too much advantage on his side anyways, because the Torterra cannot really touch me whatsoever. Did not really assume this thing was actually Rock Polish at the time, but it turns out it actually is a Rock Polish Torterra. Kind of a big deal. Assuming the team cannot really deal with Sap too much. That's why I bring the Choice Scarf Mew. Because that Choice Scarf Mew, and actually running Timid Mew, if I was not running Timid Mew, I was running Modest, I think he would outsped. Assuming he was probably Jolly in nature, if I was Modest, he probably would outsped me when I do bring my Mew in. So that's a very, very crucial thing to this match. Otherwise, he probably would have took me out. Just going to go for the Rapid Spin, actually breaking the Stealth Rocks. Kind of a bad play on my part. Do lose some momentum there because he does set up the Rock Polish here. I'm going to go into my Mew because I knew I can at least take one Earthquake or one Seed Bomb. He's going to go for one Earthquake here. It does not do too much to me. It's going to take me down to about yellow range, 85. If I was not timid right here, I actually did check on round on this after the battle. If I was not timid right here, he would have outsped. Assuming he was max speed, Jolly, he would have outsped if I was not timid nature. So, since I'm timid, I have been able to outspeed with the Choice Scarf. He's going to go to Darmanitan here, assuming maybe I'm guessing he knows I'm Choice Scarf by this point. I'm not quite sure. Either that or he's Choice Scarf himself and he knows he can outspeed. I'm just going to go and make the safest play I can and go into my Suicune here. I know Aurora can eat this thing up. He's just going to go for the Earthquake anyways, predicting Charizard, I think. So, anyways, I think an Earthquake probably would have took me out the range with my Mew anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much. I am really glad I'm invested in defense on the Suicune. This Suicune puts in so much work in this match. Suicune MVP right here. I'm just going to go for the Scald. He knows if he switches out one more time, Stealth Rocks and Spikes are going to take him out. So he's just going to stay in, hoping to get a high roll. I'm not quite sure if that was a low or high roll anyways, because assuming it did probably the same amount of damage as last time, it doesn't really matter. Going to get my leftovers. He's going to go to Togekiss here. I actually outspeed by 5 base speed points. Base 85, Togekiss is base 80, assuming it's not Choice Scarf, because I did see it change up its moves. Able to outspeed, get Ice Beam off on that. So slowly we're dwindling down his team. This is a point where I really wanted to get some stuff down. Dwindle it down as much as I can, then bring something in that outspeeds most of the stuff and starts getting rid of the fodder on his side. So he's going to go to Aggron here, but with the Spikes and the Stealth Rocks, he's going to get down to about the red. I knew his Scald was taking him out no matter what. Mega Aggron has shit special defense anyway, so I was going to take out no matter what right there. So we're looking pretty good over here. We're taking out most of his stuff on this side. Really big threats are going to be gone now. Right here is where it's going to start turning into kind of a stall fest. I did not really like this too much. I had nothing really wanted to counter this Milotic. I really did not think he was going to bring the Milotic for this battle. He also had the Noivern he drafted. I thought he was going to bring the Noivern because it really covered my team very well. I was assuming he was Marvel Scale at the time. I did not know he was competitive, so that's a very big misplay on my part. I was like, oh shit, I got him a +1 right now. So, even though it doesn't really do too much to the battle anyways, because I can completely counter. The only things he has that is actually special is this Scald, which chance he can eat it up even at +1, plenty fine, and the Ice Beam, which chance he can eat it up no matter what. It's not a stab, not anything. He still has a Dragon Tail. I'm assuming he eventually runs out of PP for a Dragon Tail, otherwise he would probably just keep Dragon Tail me out. He's going to Dragon Tail me out in my 4 Etras. Since this thing is paralyzed now, I actually do outspeed this Milotic, and I'm able to get a super effective tiny sliver of damage off on this thing. Pitiful amount of damage on this thing, but any damage on this Milotic is going to be very good damage. I need to Volt Switch out here. I knew a Scald or an Ice Beam was coming my way. I'm not special defensive whatsoever, so I need to Volt Switch out here since I do outspeed because it's Thunderwaved. Gonna go right out into my chances, no question whatsoever right there. Make the safest plays. He's gonna go for the Scald. +1 Scald actually probably would have took my 4 Etches out there, so I need to keep my 4 Etches around. Just gonna go for the soft boiled here. Was assuming maybe it's gonna go for another Dragon Tail, or either that or for a Scald. Try a Snag and a Burn. Dragon Tail is gonna come my way though. Doesn't really matter too much again, because I can take like about 5 or 6 Dragon Tails anyways. Then again, I can do a speed because he is Thunder Waved. I can always get a soft boiled off. Gonna Dragon Tail me out into my Suicune again. Right here is where I told you guys it's gonna get a little bit of a stall fest right here. Wish I can't talk. A little bit of a stall fest right here, but I have nothing ready for this thing. If he would somehow Dragon Tail me out, he has not once Dragon Tailed me out into my Mew during this battle. If he would Dragon Tail me out to my Mew, I could go for a Psychic. Assuming this thing is not special defensive, and it would do a decent chunk of damage. Either I could go for the super effective Volt Switch, which would do a decent amount of damage too. So, however, Dragon Tail never does Dragon Tail me out into my Mew. With the only thing I really wanted to go out into with the Dragon Tail around, but anyways, I'm gonna keep Dragon Tail me out into my Suicune and mostly my Chansey and my Garchomp and stuff like that. But he actually carries their cover right here. It's getting so stally at this point. I really did want to end the stall. I was gonna try most things my most safest plays. I'm not gonna really play risky when I don't really have to. Just gonna go for the safest plays I can to end the stall. Not really much I can do with this thing though. I'm just gonna keep going for Scalds here, hoping I actually snag a crit since it's already paralyzed. Maybe I should not, instead of paralyzing it, I should try getting a burn. But then again, the burn wouldn't really do too much, and my 4 Arches would not outspeed. So. Since today's Thunder Wave, my 4 Arches actually able to outspeed 2 crucial times right here. Once before and once right now. So maybe the Thunder Wave is a little bit better of a play. Not quite sure, but how it would have affected the outcome of the battle. But I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch. It does a pitiful amount of damage again. Since I have like what base like 40 special attack. I don't know. I know I have way better. I think I'm base like 100 attack or something like that. But just to let you guys know, probably next week I'm going to be bringing an Explosion for Etras too. So I would really like to try Explosion for Etras out. I'm thinking next week is probably the week to be bringing that. Not quite sure who we're going to be going against. I haven't looked who we're going to be going against. I'm assuming it's Black City Samurats. I think either that or it's I think Shiny Groud or the New England Groudons. I'm not quite sure. But at this point I know he can't touch me. I think he's out of Dragon Tails at this point too. So I'm just going to stay and go for as many seismic tosses as I can. There's nothing I can really do at this point. If it would go into my Garchomp, I know he's defensive. Earthquake would not take him out if he was at half, so I did not want to get an Ice Beam to my face too and not lose my Garchomp for a stupid play. So I'm just going to stay in here, do as much damage as I can with Seismic Toss. He can recover all he wants. I'm just hoping for a couple of pairs along the way. That's all I really asked for, but he does get paralyzed like once or twice, which I guess is fine. Not really fine for him, but doesn't really do too much anyways because he's able to live on like 1 HP anyways right here. So I actually thought I was gonna take it out like right here, but he lives on like 1 HP. Like I literally like 1 HP, like a fake Focus Sash. He's gonna get a recover off. I was like, holy shit, what the hell can I do to end this stall? What do I have for this thing? If I was to go out in my Mew, I knew my Mew would probably go down to a Scald. So did not want to go into my Mew and sack it off that way, especially when I need it for this thing. If my chance ever does go down. So Want to keep my Mio around still. I could have went out to it, but he's going to actually get the burn here with the skull. That's probably what he was trying to go for the whole time. Again, it doesn't really matter. I have the natural cure. If I want, could switch out, and it would just completely get rid of the burn anyways. And I do have the aromatherapy in case anything else in the team ever got burned, thunderwaved, or toxic, or anything like that too. So he's just going to keep going for a cover. I really don't know the point of it at this time. I was hoping he was probably either going to run out of PP for a cover or something. I don't know. I was just hoping for something. He was going to run out of PP for skulls. I don't know at this point. We're literally like, this match literally took like 45 minutes, I swear. We were like down to like 20 minutes on the battle clock, but he's going to keep going for Scald. Not really too much to really explain here. It's more of a stall fest than anything right now. Not really too much to explain. I'm burned, so I'm getting at least a little bit residual damage taken off of me. It doesn't really matter too much though, like I said earlier, because I do have the natural cure and the aromatherapy if I do need to heal. Don't really think it's that too big of a deal right now, assuming he can't really touch him anymore. Another thing about this team is actually on this team, most of the stuff I drafted does not get access to knockoff. The only thing that really gets access to knockoff is my Zangoose. I think my Zangoose gets access to knockoff, and my Zangoose, I know my Zangoose does. I'm not quite sure about, I know Rotom does, and no knockoff there. Not quite sure if Weezing gets knockoff. If it did get knockoff, it probably would be higher in tier, but I don't think it does. I think my Zangoose is the only thing that actually gets the knockoff, and that's the match takes it into forfeiting. Otherwise, we would have been there all night and would have took down in the battle timer anyways. So, GG, Aaron. A very, very good battle. Played very, very well. We are now 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses. Hoping next week we can actually take that to make it actually a 3 wins, 2 losses. I'm going to try doing everything I did this week and transfer it over to next week. Scout, have mock battles, ask for people's opinions on what I can improve on. Like I did earlier this week, I asked a bunch of friends what I can improve on for this team, and still draft and shit like that stuff. So, just gonna try doing that for the next battle. That's really gonna help me out. Hopefully, we can get in 3 wins. So, that being said, please drop a like below, and if you are new, subscribe for more promoting ORAS, Wi-Fi battles, and stuff like that. Also, tell me how you like the new design of the channel. I uploaded the new profile pic and the new cover photo. Tell me how you guys think of that. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, we'll see you guys again next week with another win. That being said, I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys next time.